folks, it's time for me to head home. I was wet and tired, but caught a huge second wind after some great bird viewing. Luckily, I was able to capture the immature eagle shaking off the rain and flying around, making the other birds stressed. I figured this one was about 2-3 years old based on the feathers, and most likely hunting the beaver that was splashing its tail in my presence. But that's just me making an educated guesstimate, of course. So, after watching critters in the rain, it was time to make some distance. As you may have seen in my last video, I traveled downstream with a decent headwind to get here, but at least the weather was absolutely perfect. Heading back was upstream, although this time the weather was like 6 degrees with consistent cold, heavy downpours. Thankfully, I had my Sims chest waders with me, 2 raincoats, and my trusty fisherman's rain hat. Not to mention my merino wool underlayer. I was warm, dry, and having fun. That said, I would have loved to have a small break from the rain, at least to enjoy a nice lunch and coffee at the portage. The beaver dams were still there, so I had took the same crossings as last time, except the way back was a tad trickier, as the water was deeper on that side. So, to avoid capturing some great footage here, I had to be somewhat careful not to fall into the deep water. I think there was an average about 6 to 8 feet deep in some spots right on the other side of the dam, so it wasn't too bad. This was the last major beaver dam before hitting the portage, which wasn't too far away. So, after a quick paddle, I finally made it to Tim Lake Portage, 120 meters. I'm gonna have a nice hot coffee and lunch and do a little bit of fly fishing at the bottom of the falls. Tim Lake Portage. I'm just gonna quickly dump out the water from my canoe and get this portage over with so that I can have a nice hot coffee and some lunch, because I am starving. This time the portage was pretty muddy and slick, but manageable. Wasn't that bad. Just the first hill, the rest was really nice. And it always helps to have a 42-pound canoe. It's at the Tim Lake Portage here. Just gonna have a quick snack. Here we go, I'm at the end of the portage. I just have Tim Lake and the small section of Tim River to get back to our forerunner. But first, some dehydrated bacon carbonara, made by this amazing backcountry company called Sidekicks. Anyway, I'll have some hot coffee and enjoy the waterfalls and rain before the last part of the journey. Again, feels like I have the park to myself. What an amazing feeling. It's that time. I'm gonna have some dark roast coffee, sit down, relax, listen to the waterfalls and the heavy rain, And that's it for me. Gonna head home. Cheers and take care.